Have you ever felt like the foundation of your life is shifting, like everything you once believed in is unraveling, and something bigger is calling you to transform? If so, you're not alone. Spiritual awakening is a journey many embark on, sometimes willingly, other times as a result of life's turbulence. But when it feels like this awakening is coming to an end, what really happens next? How do you handle this transformation? In this video, we're diving deep into what happens when your spiritual awakening reaches its culmination. We'll explore the signs that your journey is shifting into its next phase, the struggles and triumphs along the way, and how you can emerge stronger, more connected, and more aligned with your true self. Spiritual awakening is not a destination. It's a path that continuously unfolds. If you're nearing the end of a significant phase in your awakening, you might feel like a chapter is closing, but you'll soon discover that this is simply the gateway to something even more profound. Whether you've just begun this journey or have been walking it for years, stick with me, because we'll uncover the mysteries of what happens when your spiritual awakening ends and what you can do to thrive in the next chapter of your life. 1. The cyclical nature of spiritual awakening. Many people imagine spiritual awakening to be a singular moment, like a light switch turning on. One minute you're asleep to the deeper meaning of life, and the next you're enlightened. But spiritual awakening is not a single event. It's a series of continuous cycles, embracing the flow of life. Awakening, much like the rhythm of life itself, follows the flow of nature. Think of the seasons. Spring is full of fresh energy, new ideas, and rapid growth. Summer is the time for flourishing and expressing your new sense of self. Autumn is when you begin to shed old beliefs and ideas that no longer serve you, and winter brings deep reflection, asking you to confront the core of your being. These cycles repeat, each one bringing you closer to your true essence. And when you feel like your awakening is ending, it's often the completion of one cycle and the beginning of another. The journey doesn't stop, it evolves. The metaphor of the butterfly. We often hear about the caterpillar's metamorphosis into a butterfly, but what's often overlooked is what happens inside the chrysalis. In that transformative cocoon, the caterpillar doesn't simply grow wings, it dissolves into an unrecognizable mass before reassembling into something new. This is what spiritual awakening can feel like at times, a complete dissolving of the ego, the old self, before you can re-emerge transformed. As you move through the stages of awakening, you'll experience your own periods of growth, dissolving, and rebirth. There will be moments where it feels like everything you once knew is falling apart, but from that dismantling comes a new, freer, and more aligned version of you. 2. Signs that you're nearing the end of a spiritual awakening cycle. Spiritual awakening is often accompanied by intense periods of upheaval, followed by a sense of peace. As you come to the end of a significant cycle, you may notice the following signs. 1. A deep sense of inner peace. Early stages of awakening are often turbulent. Your old beliefs, ego, and identity are challenged, and this can lead to confusion, frustration, or emotional upheaval. But as you reach the end of a cycle, you start to feel a deep sense of peace. Life's challenges don't disappear, but your response to them changes. You trust more, you resist less. You're able to sit in discomfort with a knowing that everything is unfolding as it should. 2. Increased presence and mindfulness. Spiritual awakening involves a radical shift in your relationship to time. Instead of being caught up in regret about the past or anxiety about the future, you start to find yourself living in the present moment more frequently. This is a sign that you're integrating the lessons from your awakening into your daily life. You notice the beauty in small things, feel more gratitude, and experience life as it is, rather than how you want it to be. 3. A desire for authenticity. As you move through awakening, the layers of pretense start to fall away. You no longer feel the need to pretend to be someone you're not. You let go of societal expectations, external validation, and the masks you've worn to fit in. Instead, you begin to live with greater authenticity, embracing your flaws, your uniqueness, and your truth. 4. Letting go of control. One of the most significant shifts at the end of an awakening cycle is the realization that control is an illusion. You stop fighting to force things to go your way. You understand that the universe has its own flow, and you trust that it's guiding you to where you need to be. The need for certainty fades, replaced by a willingness to surrender and go with the flow of life. 5. A call to service. As you integrate the lessons from your awakening, you'll feel a deep desire to serve others. You recognize that the journey isn't just about your personal growth, but about contributing to the well-being of others. Whether this takes the form of helping your community, offering spiritual guidance, or simply being a source of love and support for those around you, you feel called to give back. 3. The dark night of the soul, a necessary step. If you've experienced a spiritual awakening, you've likely encountered what's often called the dark night of the soul. This is a period of deep emotional and spiritual turmoil, where you feel disconnected from everything, your faith, your purpose, and even yourself. Facing the shadows. The dark night of the soul is not a punishment or a regression. It's a critical of the spiritual journey, where you are forced to confront your deepest fears, doubts, and unresolved emotions. It's a time when everything you once relied on, your identity, your belief systems, your relationships, begins to crumble, leaving you feeling lost and uncertain. But this darkness is essential. In the Christian tradition, this process is often compared to Jesus' time in the wilderness, where he faced temptation and doubt before emerging with clarity about his mission. The dark night strips away everything that is not essential, bringing you face to face with your soul, emerging stronger. Though the dark night is painful, it is always followed by a period of renewal. Just as the dawn follows the darkest of the night, your soul begins to reawaken after this deep period of introspection. You emerge from the dark night with a clearer understanding of your purpose, a greater connection to the divine, and a deeper sense of resilience. 4. The expansion of your heart and compassion. One of the most profound transformations that takes place during spiritual awakening is the expansion of your heart. As you shed old patterns and beliefs, you open yourself up to the energy of love, compassion, and empathy, connecting with others. Spiritual awakening teaches us that we are all connected. The illusion of separation starts to fade, and you begin to see yourself in others. As your heart expands, you feel more empathy for the struggles of those around you. You no longer judge people for their mistakes or shortcomings. Instead, you recognize that we are all on our own unique journeys of growth and healing, serving with love. As your compassion grows, so does your desire to serve others, whether it's through simple acts of kindness, offering a listening ear, or devoting your life to a cause greater than yourself. You feel a deep need to make a positive impact in the world. This service is not driven by ego or the need for recognition. It's a natural outflow of the love that has been awakened within you. Living with a light heart. As you move through awakening, you'll notice that your heart becomes lighter. The burdens of resentment, anger, and fear that once weighed you down are lifted. You forgive more easily, love more deeply, and live more freely. This lightness is one of the greatest gifts of spiritual awakening. It allows you to experience life with joy and gratitude. 5. Transformation of relationships. As you align more closely with your true self, you will naturally attract people who resonate with your new vibration, those who are also on a path of growth and awakening. Letting go does not mean you stop loving or caring for those who no longer align with your journey. It simply means you are creating space for relationships that are more authentic and supportive. Embracing authentic connections. As the spiritual journey deepens, you begin to notice that certain relationships naturally fall away, and new, more meaningful ones come into your life. You might find yourself drawn to people who, like you, are committed to their own growth. These are individuals who not only support your journey, but challenge you to grow in ways you never thought possible. The key here is authenticity. As you become more comfortable with your true self, you'll attract others who are similarly aligned with their own authenticity. These relationships feel lighter, more uplifting, and more in tune with the person you're becoming. Authentic connections aren't always about agreement or harmony. Sometimes they challenge you to grow in ways you may not have expected. These relationships mirror back aspects of yourself that need healing or attention. But because these connections are grounded in mutual respect, love, and growth, they are able to endure these challenges and emerge stronger on the other side. Releasing with compassion. While deepening connections with new individuals, it's also important to release old relationships with love and compassion. As painful as it may be to ways with those who no longer align with your new vibration, it's essential for your own spiritual growth. The process of releasing can be challenging, but it's of the larger cycle of life. This doesn't mean cutting people out of your life abruptly or without cause. It's more about creating healthy boundaries that allow you to maintain your inner peace and focus on your journey without being weighed down by old patterns, expectations, or judgments from others. Remember that releasing someone doesn't negate the love or connection you once shared. Rather, it honors the growth and change that both you and they are undergoing. Trust that each person is on their own path, and while your journeys may have diverged, the love and lessons remain intact. Spiritual community and tribe. As you continue to evolve, you may feel drawn to seek out a spiritual community or tribe of like-minded individuals. This might be in the form of a meditation group, a spiritual book club, or a more formal spiritual practice, such as attending church or a spiritual retreat. Finding your tribe allows you to feel supported on this sometimes lonely path of awakening. It gives you the space to share your experiences, learn from others, and receive encouragement when times get tough. Surrounding yourself with those who share your passion for spiritual growth not only makes the journey more enjoyable, but also more meaningful. Building these authentic spiritual connections helps strengthen your resolve during difficult times and celebrates the beauty of collective awakening. After all, the spiritual path is not one that has to be walked alone. 6. Shifting perspectives and letting go of old patterns. One of the most remarkable transformations that takes place as your spiritual awakening matures is a shift in perspective. What once seemed important or urgent often fades in significance as your awareness deepens. Old patterns and beliefs that once guided your life are no longer relevant, and new ways of being begin to emerge, releasing judgment and embracing compassion. As you awaken, one of the first things that begins to dissolve is judgment, both of yourself and of others. Spiritual awakening brings with it an understanding that everyone is on their own unique journey, and no one is ahead or behind. We're all exactly where we need to be. This newfound understanding leads to a greater sense of compassion. You become more patient with yourself when you make mistakes, and more understanding of others when they act out of fear or insecurity. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, you begin to respond with empathy. Judgment, gossip, and negativity begin to feel foreign to you. You no longer find satisfaction in criticizing others or yourself. Instead, you focus on uplifting conversations and positive interactions that bring more light and love into the world. This doesn't mean you ignore injustice or wrongdoing, but you approach situations from a place of understanding and compassion rather than condemnation. Ego dissolution and the desire to control. Another major shift that occurs is the dissolution of the ego. The ego is the of us that constantly seeks control over our environment, our relationships, and even our spiritual journey. As you awaken, you begin to realize that control is an illusion. You start to let go of the need to force outcomes and instead trust the flow of life. This letting go can feel both terrifying and liberating. It's scary because it requires you to surrender your sense of security and certainty, but it's liberating because it frees you from the endless anxiety of trying to manage every detail of your life. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting that there is a higher order to things and that everything is unfolding as it should. Newfound clarity and purpose. As the ego dissolves and you let go of old patterns, a new sense of clarity begins to emerge. This clarity isn't just intellectual, it's a deep inner knowing that resonates with your soul. You begin to understand your purpose with greater precision, and you feel more aligned with your true path. Your desires become simpler, your goals more aligned with your spiritual values, and your focus shifts from material gain to inner peace and fulfillment. You start to live with intention, making choices that reflect your highest good and that of the collective. This clarity allows you to embrace the present moment fully. Instead of constantly seeking more, you find contentment in what is. Life becomes less about achieving external success and more about cultivating inner peace and joy. 7. The dark night of the soul, the final purge. Just when you think you've reached the pinnacle of your spiritual journey, there may come a period of deep spiritual crisis, a phase known as the dark night of the soul. This is a time when everything you once held dear seems to collapse. It can feel like an emotional and spiritual desert where nothing makes sense and you feel utterly alone. What is the dark night of the soul? The term dark night of the soul originates from the writings of Saint John of the Cross, a 16th century Spanish mystic who described this phase as a time of spiritual desolation. It is a period of deep internal struggle where you are confronted with your deepest fears, insecurities, and unresolved wounds. But rather than being a sign of regression, the dark night is actually a sign of deep spiritual progress. It is the final purge, the last step before reaching a higher state of consciousness. During this time, everything that no longer serves you is brought to the surface for release. It's a time of profound humility where you realize that you cannot rely on the external world for validation or comfort. Instead, you are forced to turn inward, relying on your own inner strength and your connection to the divine. Navigating the dark night. The dark night of the soul is not an easy experience, but it is necessary for your spiritual growth. It strips away the last remnants of ego and illusion, leaving you with nothing but the truth of who you are. During this time, it's essential to be gentle with yourself. Allow yourself to feel the pain and discomfort without judgment. Seek support from trusted friends, spiritual guides, or mentors who can help you navigate this challenging phase. Remember, you are not alone. Many spiritual seekers have walked this path before you, and many will walk it after you. It's also important to remember that the dark night is temporary. Just as the darkest of the night is followed by the dawn, so too will this period of darkness be followed by a renewed sense of clarity, peace, and purpose. 8. The gift of surrender. The ultimate lesson of spiritual awakening, and especially of the dark night of the soul, is the gift of surrender. Surrender is not about giving up. It's about giving in to the flow of life, trusting that there is a divine plan unfolding, even if you can't see it. What does surrender really mean? Surrender means letting go of the need to control. It means trusting that the universe has your back, even when things don't go according to your plan. It's about accepting what is, without resistance, and being open to what life has to offer. This doesn't mean you stop taking action. On the contrary, surrender allows you to take inspired action from a place of inner peace and alignment. When you surrender, you stop fighting against the current and allow yourself to be carried by the flow of life. The peace that comes from surrender. When you fully embrace surrender, a profound sense of peace washes over you. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself or fight for what you want. Instead, you trust that everything is unfolding as it should, and you are exactly where you need to be. Surrender is the key to lasting inner peace. It allows you to live in harmony with the world around you and with the divine plan for your life. When you surrender, you release the tension, anxiety, and fear that come from trying to control the uncontrollable. 9. Living in alignment with your soul's purpose. As your spiritual awakening comes to an end and you emerge from the dark night of the soul, you will find yourself more aligned with your soul's purpose. This alignment is not just about achieving external goals, but about living in a way that is in harmony with your deepest truths and values. Understanding your soul's purpose. Your soul's purpose isn't necessarily tied to a career or a specific achievement. It's a state of being, an inner alignment that reflects your highest self. For some, this may involve pursuing a creative passion or helping others in profound ways. For others, it may simply mean being present in the lives of their loved ones and embodying love and compassion in everyday interactions. To live in alignment with your purpose is to live authentically, with integrity, and with a deep sense of inner peace. When you are aligned with your soul's purpose, life flows more effortlessly. You experience synchronicities and feel a sense of deep fulfillment, even when challenges arise. Listening to the whisper of your soul. Often, the clues to your soul's purpose come as whispers. intuitive nudges, or feelings that guide you towards certain people, experiences, or ideas. The more you learn to quiet the mind and listen to your heart, the clearer these whispers become. Meditation, journaling, and spending time in nature can help you connect more deeply with your inner guidance. When you silence the external noise of the world and turn inward, your soul speaks clearly, revealing the next steps on your journey, embodying your purpose in daily life. Living in alignment with your soul's purpose doesn't mean every moment will be perfect or free from struggle. However, it means that even in difficult times, you are acting from a place of truth. You honor your core values, make decisions that reflect your integrity, and treat others with compassion. Each small action, whether it's offering a kind word to someone in need, making time for your creative passions, or practicing mindfulness in your daily routine, becomes a way of embodying your soul's purpose. You begin to see every experience, no matter how mundane, as an opportunity for growth and alignment. As you live in accordance with your purpose, you may also feel a call to serve others in new ways. This could involve mentoring someone who is going through their own spiritual awakening, volunteering in your community, or simply being a compassionate presence in the lives of those around you. Service becomes a natural extension of your awakening, as you realize that we are all interconnected and that helping others is a way of uplifting yourself. 10. The ripple effect of your awakening on others. One of the most beautiful aspects of spiritual awakening is its ripple effect. As you awaken and live more authentically, you inspire others to do the same, often without even realizing it. Your presence, your energy, and your way of being create a positive impact on those around you, inspiring through being. You don't have to actively teach or preach to others to have an impact. Simply by being yourself, by living in alignment with your soul's purpose, you naturally become a source of inspiration. People are drawn to your light, your calmness, and your sense of inner peace. They may not be able to articulate it, but they feel uplifted just by being around you. This doesn't mean you won't face challenges or moments of doubt, but even in those times, the way you handle adversity with grace, patience, and a willingness to learn can inspire others to do the same. Leading by example, your awakening isn't just for you, it's for the collective. The more aligned you become with your true self, the more you can help guide others on their own paths. Whether it's through acts of kindness, sharing your experiences, or simply living with integrity, you become a role model for those who are still struggling to find their way. Your journey shows others that it's possible to live a life of meaning, fulfillment, and peace. You may find that people begin to ask for your advice, seek out your company, or look to you for guidance. By sharing your truth, whether through words, actions, or simply your presence, you contribute to the collective awakening of humanity. Healing relationships. As you continue to evolve, you may also find that your healing has a direct impact on your relationships. Old wounds begin to close, misunderstandings are cleared up, and new connections are formed from a place of mutual respect and understanding. People who may have once triggered negative emotions in you now become opportunities for compassion. You see them not as adversaries, but as fellow travelers on the path, each struggling with their own lessons. Your heart expands, and you become more willing to forgive, more patient with others' flaws, and more open to love. 11. Returning to the world with new eyes. After you've gone through a profound spiritual awakening, it can feel like you're seeing the world with new eyes. Everything takes on a new level of significance. You may notice beauty in the simplest things: a flower, a sunset, a moment of stillness. At the same time, you may become more attuned to the suffering in the world and feel a deep sense of responsibility to be of the solution. A deeper connection to the present moment. One of the gifts of spiritual awakening is a heightened awareness of the present moment. The distractions that once pulled you away from being fully present, worries about the future, regrets about the past, lose their hold on you. Instead, you find yourself grounded in the here and now, able to fully experience the richness of life as it unfolds. This doesn't mean you stop planning for the future or reflecting on the past, but your relationship to time changes. The present becomes your primary focus, and the future becomes something you co-create with the universe, rather than something to fear or control. Cultivating gratitude. As you awaken, gratitude becomes a way of life. You begin to appreciate the small things: a quiet moment, a kind gesture, the simple fact of being alive. This gratitude isn't forced or superficial. It's a natural outflow of your newfound awareness. You understand that every moment, every experience is a gift. Gratitude also becomes a powerful tool for maintaining your inner peace. When challenges arise, instead of falling into despair or frustration, you turn to gratitude. You recognize that even the difficult moments are of your growth, and you thank the universe for the lessons they bring. 12. Embracing the next cycle of awakening. While the spiritual awakening process may feel like it has come to an end, the truth is, it never really ends. Spiritual awakening is a lifelong journey, each cycle leading you deeper into your true self and closer to the divine. Trusting the process. As you prepare for the next cycle of awakening, remember that trust is key. Trust that the universe is guiding you. Trust that you have the inner strength to face whatever comes next. And trust that you are exactly where you need to be. This doesn't mean you won't encounter new challenges or setbacks, but it does mean that you will approach them with a deeper sense of wisdom and understanding. You'll know that each obstacle is an opportunity for growth, and that each cycle brings you closer to your true essence. Continuing to learn and grow, even as you settle into the peace of your awakening, continue to seek out opportunities for learning and growth. Read spiritual texts, explore new practices, and remain open to new experiences. Awakening is not about reaching a final destination. It's about continually evolving, expanding, and deepening your connection to the divine. By staying open to the lessons life has to offer, you ensure that your spiritual journey remains vibrant and alive. Each day becomes a new opportunity to learn something about yourself, the world, and the universe, living in alignment with your awakening. In the end, spiritual awakening is not about escaping the world or transcending the human experience. It's about fully embracing life with all its challenges, joys, and mysteries. It's about living in alignment with your highest self, embodying love, compassion, and truth in every moment. As you move forward on your path, remember that awakening is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong process. There will be moments of clarity and moments of doubt, but through it all, you are growing, evolving, and moving closer to the divine. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If this video resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, your awakening is a gift, not just to you, but to the world. Let's continue to walk this path together, supporting one another as we move forward in love, light, and truth. Until next time, take care and keep shining.